Do you want to know what motivates teens to regulate their behavior? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I've raised 4 children of my own. I also was a treatment foster parent for troubled teens, all between the ages of 12 and 18. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I helped them regulate their behavior. In this video, I'll tell you a story from my personal life, and I'm going to be sharing with you 5 keys for helping your teen learn self-regulation. Years ago, when I decided to do treatment foster care, I had no idea what was in store for me. I had 2 children of my own at the time, but they were both little babies, and I started taking some intense training because I was going to be a treatment foster parent, which means that all the children coming to my home would have things like ADHD, OCD, ODD, RAD, FASD, kleptomania, compulsive lying, anger control issues, things like that. And I needed to know how to help them. After just the first day of training, I realized that there were things that I was going to be teaching these children that everyone needed to know. In fact, I felt like I'd been gypped somehow. I'd been working on raising the 2 children that I had, and there were key things that I was missing. So I jumped in 2 feet. I saw the truth in all of the training that I had, and I started not only raising my foster children with the principles and the skills that I learned in my training, but also applied those to my home. In no time, people were asking me, "Hey, Nicholeen, come talk at our parent group, at our church, at our PTA group. We want to know how those children in your home are changing so quickly." Well, what I'm going to be sharing with you today is exactly what I tell people now, and I have done so for over 20 years. The most important key to helping your children learn self-regulation, no matter the age, is connection to parents. And I know that's one thing that parents definitely notice is lacking when it comes to their teens. Oftentimes, youth start pulling away from parents. Some of this is natural, but some of it actually is not very healthy too. So we need to remember that. They need to have a good, healthy bond and connection with their parents. If they don't, they actually will become more entitled and more manipulative. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are regularly connecting with your child, that you're turning off some of those distractions that get in the way, and you're setting aside time just for each other. But even more than that, look in each other's eyes. Take time just to discuss all the things that happen in regular life. If you feel like your relationship is struggling, definitely take key steps to fix that relationship and open those doors of communication. I have 4 children of my own. I no longer do treatment foster care, but my youngest child is still at home. His name is Porter. He's 17 years old, and Porter and I have a very unique bond. Every day, Porter gives me hugs and cuddles on a regular basis. He comes to me and he says, "Oh, Mom," and he gives me a little hug, and he talks to me about his day and what's going on. I might come into his room and just kind of cuddle up on his bed next to him. We talk. He asks for a back rub. We discuss the girls he might like. I remember one time I said, "Well, Porter, did you kiss that girl on the date?" And I was just teasing him, but he said, "No, Mom, I would tell you if I did." And I thought, yes, you know what? I know you would. In fact, all of my children have had really good open communication with me. That's the type of bond that I'm talking about. So because Porter and I share such a beautiful, unique bond, then whenever I tell him he needs to do something, he does it. In fact, he's at a stage in his development where he is doing all college classes and he runs his own schedule. I don't have to remind him about anything. He works 3 different jobs. He does college classes. He helps out at home, as well as taking care of his relationships and his social life. But still, we make sure that we have time as a family. So life can be busy. Put the bonding as #1 top priority, and actually they will control themselves a lot better when you do. Key number 2 is teens need to learn to embrace self-analysis. Many people, and I'm talking adults too, do not like to know when they've done something wrong or when they've made a decision that doesn't please other people. The skill they need is called accepting criticism or no answers or maybe consequences. And these are all vital skills that help a person learn self-mastery or self-regulation. Children need to know that self-assessment is good. It's productive. It leads them in a positive direction. When a person is self-governing, this means that they understand the cause and effect of any given situation and possess a knowledge of their own behaviors so that they can control them. This requires self-analysis. And so one of the things that we do to help our children self-analyze and make goals for themselves is we have regular meetings. We have family meetings that happen every week, but we also have individual meetings one-on-one with the child where we work through what they are focusing on and help them make plans for success. Another way that we help our children learn self-analysis is by correcting them consistently. This is super important. Parents who praise their children and correct their children consistently help their children develop self-awareness. It teaches them cause and effect. And in no time, soon they get old enough so that they don't need to earn the negative consequences. You just do the words of a simple correction and they recognize that they need to fix things, and they do. This is what it looks like when a teen is self-governing. I've got 3 more keys to share with you, but before I do, click that subscribe button. There are so many videos that happen on this channel, you are not going to want to miss them. And don't forget the notification bell, because if you click that notification bell, then you'll actually find out when the videos come out. Key number 3 is skill development. So they need to know the skills for success and for self-government. A person who truly self-governs knows how to follow instructions, accept no answers, accept consequences, and disagree appropriately. But they also know how to correct themselves and to help themselves get calm when they seem to be going out of control. So how are your children going to learn these skills? You need to give them the steps to the skills. For instance, to accept a no answer or criticism, that's the same skill, there are 4 steps. You look at the person, keep a calm face, voice, and body, say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, and then drop the subject. Every one of the skills that I just mentioned has steps associated with it. When we learn those steps and our parents regularly bring them to our attention and teach us when to utilize those skills and those steps in the skills, then later we start applying them to ourselves. This is how self-regulation actually happens. It's a trained behavior, so you need to practice, maybe even role play practice on a regular basis, and then be consistent in the way that you are parenting the children by utilizing these skills and staying calm yourself. Key number 4 is have a concrete plan. So I always tell people when I took in the foster children into my home, I didn't ever have to worry about what negative behavior that would occur because I knew how to handle everything. I was prepared for every single behavior that might happen. I know people think that's impossible, but it actually was possible, especially with those 4 basic skills that I mentioned earlier, which are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. And then when I had 5 teaching styles that I could utilize, which included a 6-step process for how to be calm, I was ready. In fact, in 2009, when the BBC contacted me and asked if our family would be on what they called a documentary, which was really a reality TV show, called The World's Strictest Parents, I actually agreed to do it because I knew that no matter what type of teen they brought to my home, we would be fine and be able to keep that spirit of love and calmness no matter who was having a tantrum or about what. And sure enough, that's what happened. In fact, the episode of The World's Strictest Parents that our family starred in actually became their most watched episode that they ever had on the BBC. So what type of a plan do you need to make for success? You've got to make a plan that you can refer to at any given minute. You have to have the skills in place, but also you need to have how you use those skills and when. You need to know that, and your children need to know that. In fact, I even ended up creating a chart for my family. We called it the choices map so that they could see if you make this choice, then this is the words that mom will say. And then you can choose this or you can choose this, but if you go here, then here here's how we will handle it. And they can see at any given minute exactly how I will handle that situation. The other part of making a plan is making the plan is just phase one. You have to actually follow through with the plan. So making sure that you're consistent with your plan and you're teaching cause and effect through pre-teaching, praising, and correcting. No matter what happens, if you are doing that job correctly, then your children will get more of an opportunity to learn what they should be analyzing about themselves. Key number 5 is set goals. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it is actually natural for children to start to pull away from their parents a little bit during their teen years. This is because they are preparing for adulthood. Well, we want them to self-regulate not just in our home, but forever. So we need to help them make regular goals and follow up on how they're doing so that they get in the process of making and keeping goals for themselves. So it's a really great idea to have a regular meeting with them, maybe once a week, a little one-on-one meeting where you sit down and talk about the goals pertaining to all the aspects of their life. We're talking physical or health-related goals, family goals, social goals with friends, academic goals, employment goals, all of those kinds of things. We need to be constantly nurturing them toward branching out while still maintaining that really solid connection that they need in order to find security and that empowerment to achieve their self-government. So remember, that connection comes from you. So the connection actually leads to the empowerment. Many people don't put that together, but I've seen it time and time again. And if you follow these 5 keys, your children will have greater success as they launch into their adult years. If you've enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love a free class that I made a video of just for you. It is called The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success. That class talks about key things that you and your child can do in order to bond together more, solve your problems more effectively, and find more maturity in skill development. So click on the link to that video now, and I'll see you there.